In India, when I lived here, I never felt beautiful. Never, ever. There'd be days I didn't want to leave my room. I'd also just started my Instagram career, and there'd be days that I photoshopped my skin fully.
There is this challenge with women. The world hates seeing them age.
The first time I went viral was when I shared my real skin and my website crashed. You don't need to go to business school. Like, I didn't go to business school.
What were some of those early hustles, investor interactions?
When we first fundraised, it was like the moment to fundraise. Like, everyone's like, money, money, money. And now it's like empty. One of the investors asked me this very brutal question. What happens if you and Oleg divorce?
So what would be that one ingredient that you absolutely would swear by for the next 5 decades? Make her hands look like I am super excited about this episode of SUGARQuoted, and it's been one of my ambitions for many, many years to see Indian brands become global. And I think my friend who's probably the closest to make this ambition come to life is none other than the inspiring Diipa Khosla. She's not only an entrepreneur building an incredible global brand, Inde Wild. I'm sure you've tried all the products, but she's also a global influencer and ambassador. And if that wasn't all, she's also an activist who runs her own NGO, Post for Change. My God, Deepa, I think you're going to need an entire LinkedIn for all that you do.
Look who's speaking. Oh,
and of course, I forgot to mention, you're also the mother to beautiful Dua, who's now 4
years old.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Lovely age.
Yeah.
Super. So, before we talk about all the incredible things that you do, I just want to go back a step and ask you, like, I remember the first time I actually met you was at this Elle event last year, I think, and there were a lot of celebrities, Bollywood superstars there, but still somehow you were like the best dressed, most stunning person in the room, making all the heads turn. And I remember you were like, you're right out of a Vogue cover, and I suddenly thought that she's looking like she's out of a Vogue cover. I'm looking like I'm doing a performance review, wearing a suit. No. But so has that always been the story for you? Like from childhood, have you always been like this person who's, been the best dressed, most stylish, beautiful person in every room?
I think far from it. Honestly, far from it. I think my childhood, I would, if I look at little Deepa now, and like I go back to her, I think she was a girl with big eyes, with big dreams and big ambitions. But everything around her was very different. Like I think she always wanted to be who I am today, but I don't think she knew how. So she had really bad acne. She was extremely skinny. She was bullied at school. She, was a middle child, so also at home had to fight for attention. She saw her parents struggle, middle-class family trying to make ends meet. And then mom basically, when we were about 10, 11, put all her jewelry in the bank to take a loan out so we could go to an international school. Like the reason why I sound the way I do is because of that one sacrifice mom made. So even though we were not a very well-off family, I feel like I saw obstacles and struggles everywhere around me. And I think that school probably was the first moment that I changed, in the sense that I went into that school as a very feeble, insecure, like you can imagine, like jagged teeth, like acne, like everything wasn't working out for me. But in that school, I think was the first time I metamorphosized a little bit. I think that was the first phase of my life where I knew I was smart. So the one thing I always knew, despite everything else, was she's got a brain on her head. So smartness, I never doubted. Everything else I did. And so I think in Hebron, in my school that I went to, was the first time, because of learning, like I spoke Hindi until the age of 11. So even going into that school in the beginning, I was bullied because it was an international school and they're like, do you not speak English, So learning English, slowly coming out of my shelf, year by year, like doing more and more things. So when I graduated from school, I think it was the first time I felt a bit more confident in my personality. So then intelligence was there, personality came out a little bit. And the funny thing is, in India, when I lived here, I never felt beautiful. Like, are you, like, even in school, I remember people calling me, like, are you a boy? Like, why do you not have enough breasts to wear a bra? Like, you know, all those things, we know how it is in Indian schools to be made fun of. So I think it really took me that next phase in my life to go to the Netherlands, to Amsterdam, to then also feel beautiful in my skin. And then I think the last chapter that closes it all is love. Like when you're truly loved by somebody, like for everything you are, then you just feel confident in your entire being. So it's been a learning for sure. And I always tell people confidence is like going to the gym. You don't get it overnight. You have to build it every single day. Like, and today, yeah, I feel very confident, but I'm sure there's days I also don't. So it's like a work in progress, probably till the end of your life.
So you're telling me that till the age of 12, you weren't comfortable speaking English, and
I didn't speak English.
You didn't speak English.
Zero. Like Hindi. Now my Hindi sucks.
And in India, I mean, it does happen that people judge you even though Hindi is our national language. I have 2 children, and I remember for the first one, I was very clear that I'll only speak in Hindi at home. And I remember, like at the age of 3, 4, when he would go on play dates, there would be other kids who would say stuff like, oh, he's Hindi. So, and then they would speak Hindi in this accent so that they could communicate with him. And I felt really bad because I thought that, you know, he'd probably grow up having a complex. So we switched to English at home, which I find very unfortunate because kids growing up in metros now pretend like English is their main language. But I think this goes back to, you know, of 100%. Course, the colonial hangover. But I can imagine that whole complex of, you know.
And this was again like, you know, what now? A decade and a half ago or something. And I think like, you know, we spoke Hindi at home, we spoke Punjabi at home, and today my Hindi and Punjabi suck because indeed the same thing happened. My parents switched to English.
You were trying to shut it, that entire
they were like,
part of you.
shut it out because you need to be this global citizen one day, so we're going to speak English at home. And I got made fun of a lot in school as well for speaking Hindi. And now I'm literally like, I think I need a Hindi tutor to get me back to the level that I was, because now my English is obviously my main language. And I think, you know, the funny thing is, just by that little change, when I went abroad as well, to speak the way I do today, to be able to hold a room the way I do, was because I grew up with international kids. And I think what happens with a lot of Indians is when they first go abroad, they get really nervous about themselves abroad, and it's because they're not proud of who they are. And I wasn't either. Like, I think being Indian back in the day was not a proud thing. Like, I would try to be like, yeah, but I study in Europe. And the Diipa today, I mean, my brand speaks for itself, but I'm so proudly Indian. And I think it's a combination of my own journey, obviously becoming that, but also the combination of our country right now. Like what we were talking about over the weekend as well, India is the country. Like, it is all about being Indian, being proudly Indian, our economy, our beauty, our people. Like, it's going to be India's future. And I'm so
only
excited.
Country at like almost 5 trillion GDP growing at 7-8%. I think.
I think by 2028 we're going to be the 3rd strongest economy in the world. Like, that is. And so I'm so proud of everything that we're doing.
And so Dua is going to start learning Hindi very soon too.
She speaks fluent Hindi.
Really? She does? Okay, actually, you know, after hearing Oleg the other day, I realized that he's probably like 80% Indian too now. The way he has pride in the Indian culture, and I'm sure you guys are raising Dua great. So the journey in beauty, you're saying that, you know, you also had complex about your skin tone and acne till you were almost 18, 19 when you went abroad?
For sure.
Right. And that, so when did your acne go away?
So acne one was one that lasted way too long. So I think I was hoping by 20 as well acne to go away.
That's what we are told.
Yes,
but it doesn't happen.
It doesn't happen. My acne actually finally went away by 25. And the thing that I did wrong, and that was also the whole inspiration behind Inde Wild, the thing that I did wrong was I did too much. Like I did way too much with my skin. As being an obsessive control freak in general, I put that same obsessive control freak to my skin, and I did everything from homeopathy to the harshest chemicals to antibiotics to blah 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 pill to that to da 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 da, and my skin I think just went on an overreaction. And I think most times with people with acne, it is so sad to have it, and my face was covered, like I mean forehead, here, everywhere, that there'd be days I didn't want to leave my room because I'm like, how can I show myself out there? I'd also just started my Instagram career, and there'd be days, I've said this on the record as well, that I Photoshop my skin fully to put myself out there because I was so insecure of my acne, because I'm like, why would anybody follow me? And this was the days of, you know, Instagram being just perfect. And then the first time I went viral was when I shared my real skin without it, because I think I saw so many girls underneath being like, how can you be so pretty? How is your skin so flawless and perfect? And I started feeling so guilty. I'm like, I'm lying. I'm not, you know, my skin is not that perfect. And so before the days of when it was trendy to show your imperfections, I posted this blog post. That's the era of blog post. My entire blog post about the acne skincare I'm doing right now, what has worked, what hasn't, and shared real photos of my skin. And my website crashed. Like, it was insane. Like, overnight, the amount of girls that felt seen and they were like, oh my God, I have the same thing. And I think that was when the first probably seed of Inde Wild was planted, where it's like, okay, something needs to change. Something needs to change in the beauty industry. Something needs to change in the way we consume products. Something needs to change in products itself. Like, there were so many things that I think back then I didn't know it was all going to manifest as Inde Wild, but it was the first seed as an influencer that was planted in me, like, I need to do more here. And finally, I did cure my acne with a combination of Accutane and Ayurveda. And that's what Inde Wild is. It's chemistry and Ayurveda together. And I've never touched wood. This is wood.
Yeah, this is as close to wood as it can
I
get.
haven't got
Acne
any acne since then.
That's amazing. That's
yeah.
amazing. And this was at what age? Around
23, 24.
23, 24. I actually tried finding your blog, but I think I couldn't find it.
I think I haven't paid the domain.
But I did find your first Instagram post. I went back in 2015. And
oh my God.
I loved it because the photo credit was Vineeta Khosla. I assume she must be your sister.
Yes.
And so I was like, oh, okay, this is exactly like we do, right? Like, make family take pictures and pretend it's professionally shot.
Yeah.
And I think it was in France. But what I loved is that, you know, you've tagged like relatable brands like Stalk by Love, Misguided.
Oh my
and
God.
I just, you know, that whole journey when you see your latest post in 2025 and 2015, and that journey of just a girl with big dreams figuring out. I think it's quite an inspiring story for young girls out there who want to be a Diipa, because I think a lot of women have this passion for beauty, fashion, but I think they're put in a box where they're doing probably a tech job where, you know, their heart lies somewhere else. So
thank you.
You know, even for me as a founder journey, I think growing up, I never felt like beautiful. I had a lot of acne, and I had like a deep, I grew up in Delhi, where I was probably the 10% deepest skin tones in class. And it was, you know, we didn't have a concept of sunscreen, etc. So we would like only think about, you know, buying a fairness cream to become, and that would probably lead to more acne. And I had a best friend who was like this stunning white girl with like the most gorgeous smile. And I always thought that, you know, when I sometimes look back and I look at our pictures and I talk to her and I'm like, you know, if somebody ever thought who would start a beauty brand, it would be Navya, not me, because I had nothing to do with beauty. My entire learning has been that sometimes if you have a problem which you've really struggled a lot with, you can really relate harder to a consumer than somebody who's just so gifted with having flawless skin and just, you know, being so stunning at, you know, from childhood, that you sometimes end up taking that for granted.
Because you are a consumer.
You are a consumer.
You know, you are so deeply the same pain points they have, you've had. And because you've overcome them, I feel like you're in this position to be able to be like, girl, you can do it too. I did it. You can do it too.
And I really feel that in building Inde Wild, you should bring out that story of that young Deepa more, because every time now you walk into a room, everybody wants to be you. But they need to know the journey behind that becoming of this Deepa, I feel. It's
100%. Noted. I'll tell the content team.
So if you had to now, you know, with the success you've had as both a creator as well as a founder, if you had to just choose gun to head, one of these two, which one would you choose?
Founder all day.
Oh, really?
Every day. The influencer journey was incredible. Like, I would not change a thing about it. It was in that phase in my life. Imagine as a 24, 25-year-old girl, I just moved to London to do my master's, again, fully on scholarship. And my mom was like, you know, paying for it with difficulty, and I was like, okay, I need to earn quickly now. Like, I need to start paying back my family, like they've done enough for me. And I remember I was sitting in Pret, like, you know, the Pret cafe, like that was when you get the $2.99. Yeah, Pret, the $2.99 coffee. And I was like, okay, this is it. Like, yes, law studies is happening in the back, and yes, you know, I love law, so that was amazing. But I'm like, I need to make money. So I just finished an internship at a influencer agency, and I saw how the media landscape was changing at that point in Europe, which was a little ahead of India's you know, curve. So I could kind of almost like there was a future ball. I'm like, this is gonna hit India. Oh my God, I'm one of the first people who's figured this out. I need to do something with it. And that's when indeed I requested my sister to be like, Nandita, I call her Nan. I was like, Nan, this is gonna explode. You need to help me. And luckily at that time, Nan was really into photography. So she was like, okay, I can take your photos. You go, you know, figure out like, how do we do this whole fashion blogging thing? And it was literally as simple and naive as that. My mom was my first investor. She gave me 200 euros. And she was like, that's the money you can do to whatever this blog, whatever hobby of yours is, try it. And so with that 200 euros, I bought a full outfit from H&M and kept the tags on. Nan took the photos, I posted the photos, returned the outfit, got the 200 euros back, did it again at Zara. So like, I used that 200 euros over and over again to kind of try my hand at this thing, because I could very clearly see this was gonna go somewhere, and I was a few people who figured it out, you know? And so at one point, after working very hard for the first year and posting, I made my first deal for 250 euros by this brand called Paul Hewitt. It was like a Daniel Wellington type of brand. And I'm like, oh, I can make money with this. This is crazy. Like, how much bigger
That's
could it
nothing like
go?
the first 200 euros that
exactly.
you earned.
And then I think that led to thingies, and then that led me to a life of unbelievable, like it almost feels like a movie what I experienced, you know, where I went to stay in the most biggest hotels in the world that I couldn't have imagined. My parents never had the money for that. I was travel like first class in private jets and this as covers of Vogue, and like I did everything, you know. And at one point, the inner Deepa was like, okay,
is
like,
this a dream? Pinch me.
This is a dream. Pinch me. Like everything you ever wanted in the influencer world is achieved. And then I did that for the first 7, 8 years, living the dream every day. And at one point, I'm like, I need more. Like, I need to be intellectually stimulated again. Like, I think the influencer life, as amazing as it is, like, how many photos can you take? How many brands can you promote? Like, how many hotels can you stay in, you know? And so at one point, I was very, very grateful with the journey, but the inner entrepreneur was like, I need to come out now. And so in the pandemic, the seeds of Inde Wild had been planting already for a few months. So in the pandemic, when the world stood still, I'm like, okay, this is it. Now we need to build it. Like, now or never. Like, this is the silver lining of this horrible situation, is build this brand. And so that's when entrepreneurship started, and I am living my dream life. So like, as much as I enjoyed being in like the global influencer, I am so enjoying being an entrepreneur now. So I would pick this all day, every day.
Got it. And which also means that you were at some level, if you really oversimplify this, you would pick the money over the fame, or you would pick the fame over the money?
Ooh. I think fame is fickle. I think fame is something that in today's day a lot of people can get, easily, thanks to the democratization of social media. But I think because of it being so fickle, everybody gets it for a moment. And the ones who accept that fact are happier for it and more grounded and humble, because nobody's going to get the sunlight forever, not even Beyonce, as incredible as she is. There's going to be a moment she's going to step away from the limelight and just be normal,
that I can't
quote
imagine.
Unquote. But there will be a
very
moment,
hard to imagine Beyonce and Tina.
At one point, maybe when she's 60, she will also be like, I'm going to chill, I'm going to step away from this. So like, the limelight moment is limited for everyone. And so I feel like as amazing as fame can feel in the moment, and as incredible it is to have, people come up to you and like tell you how much they inspired, all of that is amazing. But I think money is freedom. And I think money is something that, gives you and your future generations a chance to a better life. And I think what money does, which for me is the most powerful, is it can help cultivate change in the world. Like, I think, look at what Bill and Melinda Gates have done. Like, if you can use money for good, it is so powerful, more powerful than politicians screaming about it or anything. So I think for me, the next phase of my life, when whatever happens with Inde Wild, I think that is what I would love to do with the money, is see how you can impact social change. And so I would, in this phase, yes, pick money over fame.
And as you transition, like, you're probably, even at this point, a part of what you earn and your family earns comes from the influencer life, and then there is the switch where you are, we had a pivot too. We used to run a company called Fab Bag. We switched to sugar. The pivots are always hard because you are sort of shuttling between the two.
Between two.
So as you're making this transition, how do you feel about the other brands that want to work with you, the conflict that comes of your time when you're putting content out there? Are you thinking that, am I building this as a founder or am I building this as an influencer? And how do you prioritize who to work with, who to not work with? And that also means saying no to big checks, right?
Absolutely. I mean, beauty was my biggest payer.
Oh, really?
By far.
Bigger than fashion?
Bigger than fashion, always. Beauty will always pay a creator more than fashion. Because fashion, especially luxury fashion,
because all you get is the clothes for free.
Basically, and the trip or the fashion week or whatever. So fashion is actually notoriously a bad payer. Luxury fashion. I don't do much fast fashion also because I don't believe in fast fashion. So I rather support homegrown or luxury as my philosophy on fashion. So I don't get the fast fashion paychecks anyway. And then when it comes to beauty, they're the most lucrative business. We know. Like, would you start a fashion brand or a beauty brand? Right? So I think beauty pays really well, and it's that way of getting into luxury for people without having to invest in a bag. So which is why a lot of luxury beauty also pays well. So indeed, when Inde Wild started, gone. And I found that a bit weird because I'm like, dude, I'm like a tiny brand. Like when I started, why are you guys?
So you didn't say no, but you stopped getting more offers.
It was
as
both.
Many offers.
I think when we first launched with the skin serums, I stopped saying yes to anybody with serums. So I was like, no, I'm gonna, of course, promote Inde Wild because I genuinely use Inde Wild and I love it. So no more serums from anybody else. Then, guess when we expanded into hair category, all the hair went away. Then all the skin went away. Which, for me, what was really funny is I still am like, guys, in modern consumer, we use multiple brands together. So you don't have to be threatened by Inde Wild. Like, I'm happy to promote it together. But I do imagine they're a bit like, no, you're beating us in all the Nykaa and Tira bestseller lists. Like, we can't work with you. So I think I mean, I get it, but I do organically still, the brands I love, I promote. And makeup especially, like, you know, there's absolutely, I don't think I'm going to do makeup at Inde Wild for the foreseeable future. So makeup is a category I really like, enjoy working with.
So we can work sugar.
Yes, always. For you, anything. But yeah, so that's kind of how I navigate it now.
Got it. So there's one part which is, of course, saying no to the paychecks that you were getting from a lot of brands, which has probably slowed down a bit. The other part is like the glamour of traveling the world and being at these incredible places, and imagining now you have to figure out a way to buy your own ticket and some of those trade-offs. So do you miss that sometime, being a full-time influencer?
So luckily, I think for the global events, I still get invited. Like this time even I was invited to Venice for the red carpet. Venice is my favorite. Like I know people probably think Cannes is my favorite, but Venice is truly my favorite.
You are Cannes' favorite. Let me put it that way. I think when you go to Cannes feels underdressed.
No, I love Cannes, and but like I think Venice has a different charm to it. It's like, you know, the older one. It's the more, I guess, exclusive one or something, but Venice is incredible. So I myself decided not to go for Venice this year because it was our biggest sale of the year. So like those are choices I am making. Do I miss it? I think in moments. I think life is chapters, right? Like I feel like right now I'm so busy building Inde Wild because it needs that energy, it needs that focus. But I feel like, you know, next year I'll be back at Venice, I'll be back at Cannes. So even though I miss it, I still am very happy with what I'm building right now. So I'm not a real FOMO girl. Like I've never been a FOMO girl who's like, oh my God, they are having so much fun without me. I'm kind of like so focused on what I'm doing right now. And thing is, in a few years, if there can be an article on Forbes that says Inde Wild, you know, hit unicorn status, the joy of that to missing a Cannes or a Venice is like you can't compare it. And so I think for me to be able to build something to that level that outgrows me and becomes this like behemoth of a brand is so much more like invigorating and empowering for me than attending another event where I get to wear, and I don't get me wrong, I love the dresses, I love the events, I love the people that I meet there, but just feel like I'm on a really beautiful path right now.
And we'll come to the dreams and aspirations at Inde Wild. I'm actually very, very intrigued by all that you've done. But before that, do you at some point feel that you being so much the face of Inde Wild, what happens like in 10 years, suppose like you said, fame goes up and down, there is this challenge with women, the world hates seeing them age, and it's so real. I mean, we have to age, but somehow the world assumes that the people we love and idolize will never age. So do you think about what happens when that kind of love and association with beauty that you've had, there's like probably a 1% impact in that because a trend changes or a new superstar emerges?
It's a really good question. I don't think I've ever been asked that before. So I think, when we built Inde Wild, I remember one of our first like whiteboards as well. It was very clear that Inde Wild was to be bigger than me. Like it was very clear, and I had no ego about it. Like from the start, we said Diipa is the trampoline jump to help that initial customer acquisition, to help that initial marketing, to help the eyeballs, to help the conversions. But Diipa was never the end game for Inde Wild. Like Inde Wild was to be that brand of new India, was to be that first Indian global brand. Like that were the aspirations for the brand, and I would be the helping out. And so already, as you saw in the beginning of the year, we had Ishan Qatar as help be the kind of ambassador for those months. And so I think we are already starting to look at Inde Wild through the lens of modern India. And I think it was easy for us to use me. And of course, I'm going nowhere. Like I'm the founder face, and I will constantly be a part of the dialogue. But we want this brand to become at the intersection of, pop culture, beauty, where India is, and whatever face resonates with that will be the face of Inde Wild. And whether it's temporarily or for a year or for longer, I think we're basically just creating a new way of doing beauty marketing in India. Like it doesn't have to be, you know, that, oh, you get one Bollywood star who is the ambassador and nobody else is da-da-da. Like we're mixing things up a bit. And I think it's uncharted territory, like it's new what we're doing, where it's like the founder face is there and she will always be there. But can we bring a Nishan to mix things up for a second? And then like the next thing that we're gonna do is coming up in a month, which again is gonna shake things up a bit, like just unexpected ways to see how you can just make Inde Wild for the people. You know, it's about what are they looking for and how can you keep it exciting. So I think that will create the longevity of the brand, not fully being dependent on Diipa. One of the investors we got on once asked me this very brutal question, and they were like, okay, so your entire pitch, everything is about your following, your this, what happens if you get in an accident with a bus? And I was like,
that's a really harsh question.
And he's like, I'm sorry, I've invested in quite a few celebrity brands, and that's the question I have. Like, and the second question was like, what happens if you and Oleg divorce? And I was like, wow. I was like, okay, those are really real questions that people we don't ask. But I guess for an investor, it's about risk. And he's like,
it's called relationship risk.
The two risks I see is you are in this with your husband and you are the face of this brand. So I need to ask you flat out, what's going to happen if something goes wrong with these two things? And I think I managed to answer that question, I think, very well. And what I'm saying right now is Inde Wild is to be bigger than Diipa. It is not the Diipa show. It is, I'm just the igniter, but it will be bigger than me.
I like the trampoline analogy, because after that you want the products to themselves fly 100%, and word of mouth to create. So maybe in another couple of years you will have, you know, consumers will be picking up Inde Wild because they got somebody told them Inde Wild products are great, and not because
that is the
Diipa
goal.
fans.
Like, and I think, you know, in the beginning when people would come up to me as well, they'd be like, oh my God, I love your wedding. Like that was the first thing that people remembered about me, like, oh my God, your crazy wedding. Then it became what I love Dua. You know, I'm like, yes, okay, thank you. And now it's all about, I love the Chumpy hair oil, I love the DLT. And that, I think, for me is true joy, to in a party for somebody to bring out a DLT and use it, not even knowing my existence, or use the Chumpy hair oil and tell their entire family to use it. That is the true success of Inde Wild. That people, like, people who use Chumpy are like, you know, these huge Gujarati families, from their mom, granddad, dadi, nani, everybody. They of course don't even know who I am. They just love the product, and I think that is indeed the true definition of success.
Amazing. I have a lot of questions about the Chumpy and the investor conversations. We'll come to that, but because you mentioned Dua also has her fan following, I obviously went digging on Instagram and I found Dua had her page as well. You've not posted in the last couple of years. Is that a conscious decision? You decided to keep her out of the... Okay.
I think what happened is when she was, you know, first born, and we were really excited about everything, and I think I myself was, I guess, naive in a way, and she's just such a cute baby. Like, babies are just cute, and so I was like, okay, and she did the funniest thing. So I'm like, I've shared so much with my following, let me share Dua too. And then I think what happened is when we moved to India, too many people recognize her. And there were a few incidents in her school, in Dua's school. People showed up being like, does Dua go to this school? Like, can we take photos with her? And so then I was a bit like, no, we need to, like, now that her face is becoming clear of who she's going to look as an adult, I need to stop. So on her 4th birthday was the last video I shared of Dua. And so until, I guess, she's a bit more able to decide for herself, and a bit more, like, you know, the security stuff is a bit easier. And you never know, like, there's so many creeps in the world. I was kind of like, just keep her safe from all of that.
I mean, there are 2-3 different reasons. One is, of course, the whole nazar reason, which also, I mean, I believe in it.
I do too.
And then there is the whole security. And then there's the third, sometimes you feel that let her come to get that decision herself on when she wants to. But she clearly has your genes. So the day she decides,
she sure does.
I was just reading about in Sephora, 15-year-old's brand has launched and it's like exploding. And maybe
Gen
she's
Alpha
like
is the next beauty consumer.
Beauty consumer and probably creator. So So for all you know, Dua might be one of the earliest founders.
Let's see. I mean, I always keep teaching her, like, be entrepreneur minded first and then creator minded second. Because if you're entrepreneur minded first, I think it's just going to take you, like, it's going to give you a more fulfilling overall life. If you're just creator focused, I feel like, you know, it's too one-dimensional.
Yeah.
Like, you need
and
to...
I feel that the best creators are actually the ones who are entrepreneurs.
Correct.
Because they understand the numbers.
Yeah.
They know where and when to sell.
They know their worth.
So how did you answer that divorce question?
Honestly, I was kind of like, yes, fair enough. It's a question that can come up, and I think the way we've done it really is through like all the different contracts to keep them happy. You know, it's like if one of us leaves, what happens? If the other one decides to leave, what happens? So there's, especially with Unilever coming in, we just have a lot of paper trail and paperwork to convince them, look, even in the worst case scenario, there is a way to figure it out. I think there was a clause called the Tokyo shootout, or do you know it?
No, I don't
There's
know.
some weird, I forgot it, damn, my lawyers put it in. It was some shootout, some clause, I need to remember it. If I remember it, I'll text
I know
you.
the key man risk part where
Yeah.
they basically want you to not travel by the same flight together, etc. Because two
Really?
founders, and that's not just to here. Like,
Yeah.
you know, my husband had earlier worked at one of the largest consulting firms in the world. So for all the partners, they had this key man risk. So if they had like a retreat where all of them had to go together to a Bali, they were told to be on separate flights because
Wow.
you know you can't have like the
Yeah,
key
makes sense.
leadership going down at the same
Yeah,
time.
makes sense.
So that applies even to founders.
Yeah.
But the personal part of it, and you know, having documents around what happens to the personal relationship, how that impacts business. I think in India so far we've not had, you know, somebody insist on that.
Yeah. So in the West, I think they
It
do
does.
because it, I guess, also happens more often.
Yeah.
Well, in India, it's happening equally.
I think in India
guess.
also, you know, people till 10 years back when
Yeah.
people building get emotional when asked to document
I was so
things
emotional.
like, yeah.
I was like, I don't want to see it. Why are you telling me to do all of this? But I guess there's emotional and there's logical.
Yeah.
And my Dutch husband's very logical. And he
Yeah.
was like, babe, let's just sign the papers. Like, it means nothing for us and nothing to us. Like, you don't take a life insurance because you know you're, like, I mean, everyone's gonna die. But like, you do it because it's risk and like, put it in that part of your brain. And you know, it's not gonna interfere with who we are as people. So just being really logical about it, I guess. Yeah.
And how's the equation in terms of like decisions and
Yeah.
making calls and you know
So-
dragging work home?
Yeah, I think in the beginning it was difficult, to be honest, because, you know, he definitely is an alpha. I definitely am an alpha. So I think in the beginning it felt a bit like, oh, you're stepping into my territory. What? Like, do I lead the meetings or do you lead the meetings? Like, who are the staff looking to? Like, who is a team member? Like, are there two chefs in the kitchen? Like, you know, so there was a bit of that in the beginning. We went to a business coach for it, and honestly, 2 sessions with the coach, like, I think it was more for me than him, but I think women are more insecure about their leadership skills and more insecure about, like, are people coming on our territory? And I think I learned very quickly that what my strengths are my strengths, and everybody in the team knows it, you know, and what his strengths are his strengths, and luckily it's very complementary. So instead of me trying to be him and, you know, him trying to be me, let's just be ourselves. And he is phenomenal team leader. Like, he really knows how to, like, he's been a diplomat, like, he's literally spoken at war-torn countries with politicians of the highest echelons of society. So he is a communicator beyond, you know, like, he knows how to lead a team, motivate a team, like, he can really do team. And I'm like a total lone wolf. I'm like, I know where we're going, everybody follow me, and we're gonna reach the top of the mountain. So we're very different leadership qualities. And so, and then I'm very marketing, very vision. I understand the beauty I'm obsessed with beauty. Like, I know the pricing of every brand. I know every ingredient, like, obsessed with it. And he is a really good, like, at finance, ops, like, just logical thinking. So I think we make a really good team. And so when we realized that, it went really well.
So if a launch doesn't make business sense, who gets to take the final decision if it's like you're passionate about a launch because you think that it's going to become big in 10 years?
Yeah.
And he thinks that, you know, right
Doesn't
now the
make
P&L
business
can't
sense.
afford it.
I think at this point I still get my way because we're very still, I think,
How many times do you use that, whose name is on the wall? Card.
Never, never, no, I don't do that.
I'm just kidding.
I don't do that. But I think it's more, yeah, I think right now we're still very much still instinct, gut business, like the raw business driven. But I do think as a company, now that we're, getting as a bigger brand, we're getting more business focused as well. Yeah.
Good. And the investor piece, I mean, so I think what everybody sees is this like textbook case of somebody building a fantastic global community and then launching a brand and overnight success. It's like selling out everywhere, not just in India, but across the world. Having seen a lot of founder journeys, I know that it's never ever easy, especially for a woman trying to raise capital for a business which is priced at a premium compared to where generally, say for instance, a lip treatment product or a hair oil in India would be. So, what were some of those early hustles, failures, investor interactions like? Would love to hear all the stories. Yeah.
Oh my goodness, so many. First of all, I think just launching a brand in a global pandemic, like I didn't know any better, like it's not like I had done any work before a pandemic. So my entire example of building a brand has been when you could only talk to people on Zoom. So from doing the entire operations, fundraising, everything online, it had its pros and cons, I must admit. Like I could wear my pajamas in the bottom and like, wear like formal attire on top and have kind of my bullet point notes there. And I think in the beginning, I knew nothing about the way I know about business today. Like I was a total, this is I think to everybody that's listening, you don't need to go to business school. Like I didn't go to business school. I didn't have an inch of finance education. Like I didn't have an inch of product, nothing. So when these early days, the investors would ask me questions on like, when do you expect to be EBITDA positive? I'm like, what is EBITDA? Like I'm Googling EBITDA on the side while I'm like, oh, like you talk until I figure this out. Or they're talking about CM1, CM2. I'm like, huh? What? And so I think really being able to build a business in the pandemic was a crazy, like it just feels like a crazy time now, to not meet, and I'm a people's person, like to not meet anyone, not let them feel my energy and like try to sell them a business is really difficult.
So you did your entire first fundraise virtually?
Entire. I didn't meet a single person. And I think the moment it changed was like Shark Tank. There's this thing, we met these two founders who are billionaires in South Africa of all countries. And they had this kind of Shark Tank, online Shark Tank version, which is private to only like their network, I suppose. And so that was the first time I think Oleg and I prepared for a pitch, and it was really like these two founders talking about the brand. And I remember already back then, we had a pretty good idea of what Inde Wild was going to be, so we pitched really well. And it was this session where live you're pitching, and then on the WhatsApp group, if people want to invest, the money comes in. So one of the really big Swedish investor behind Spotify, Klarna, like Decacorn investor, and he said live on the show, I'm investing in them. And then all of a sudden the WhatsApp group was like 100K, 200K, I'm like, what is going on here? So I think that was the first moment of like this rock star high feeling that we had in the business of, I think we're onto something. Like I think people are getting our, if we can get two South African billionaire guys to get convinced about a women's beauty brand in India, we're doing something right. So I think what Oleg and I realized really quickly was we were very good at pitching. Like we're very...
I need a recording of that.
I will send it to you.
I need to up my pitch game because I have always had this struggle, like hundreds and hundreds of rejections because I'm just...
No, wait for it. The rejection is coming.
Oh, okay.
So this is the initial like first round. We barely raised, I think 500K.
Yes.
500K or something. So we were like, oh my God, we're so good at fundraising. We got this. I'm like, I'm a woman. Look at me, brown woman fundraising from all these billionaires. Oh my God, I'm really great. Then I think the business started. We started launching. We launched in the US, UK, Canada, and India in 9 months. That had never been done before, and we thought we were very cool for it.
And your own website or also Amazon?
Own website. No,
etc.?
just own
Okay,
website.
okay.
So D2C USA, D2C UK, D2C Canada, D2C India. And so we thought, oh my God, this has never been done before. Vogue made a big article, the first brand to launch in 4 countries, da, da, da. And we were like, wow, global brand, this, that. Then at the back of it came 4 global operations, 4 P&Ls, 4 markets. And I'm like, why didn't somebody tell me early on, do one
Plus
first?
FDA customs,
Everything,
it's a nightmare.
regulation, product, everything. And then our growth wasn't as expected, obviously, because we're splitting our time between 4 markets. And so the next fundraise, which happened last year, everything that could go wrong went wrong. You know, we were at a moment where I actually didn't think Inde Wild was going to survive. Like, it was that bad. Because maybe on the PR side, it looked like, wow, they're doing really well. But in the back end, we were burning cash. We were our runway was getting shorter and shorter. We're like, oh my God, now what? The fundraising environment in the world was so depleted because when we first fundraised, it was like
22, 23.
Yeah, the moment to fundraise.
Yeah.
Like everyone's like money, 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 and now it's like empty. Everyone's giving you multiples of 2, 3, and I'm like, what is going on? So it was a very like Oleg and I think, had an Excel sheet. And we told our team this story as well because it's so real. We had an Excel sheet of maybe 100 venture capitalists in India, US, UK, everything. And it was all green in the beginning because we had to start making the pitching calls. And 2 months in, 3 months in, red, red, red. Everybody's just like, your business has no legs. Like, what are you trying to do? Like,
I think that's still better than the ones that ghost you.
Yeah. No, a lot of ghosts too. Like,
Okay.
they just don't reply, they don't text back. And I'm like, but do you not see what I see? Like, you know, as a founder, it's so difficult because you see the vision and you're trying desperately to let them see the vision, and it just red, 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 red. But there's this thing I do every year in January where I make a vision board and put it in the back of my phone. But I can share with you the vision board I had of last year.
Yeah.
And on the top, and I had no idea how or what, but I wrote an article of like WWD or BOF or something saying that Inde Wild raises capital from Unilever Ventures.
What? No way.
No idea why I wrote that. I mean, I have a little idea. It's because we knew a partner of UV from the early days. Like, she was this very sweet woman. Her name is Rachel Harris, and she is currently
The one on Apple.
yeah. But we met her really early on when we were nobody. She spent an hour explaining beauty to us, and since then, kind of kept in touch with us every 6 months. So even though it was a long shot, I, for some reason, just had like, I just put it there, being like, we will raise, I think I put 4 million or something by Unilever Ventures, and it would be on BOF. That was my vision board for the beginning of the year. And our runway is getting seriously low, that we just write to Rachel, to Unilever, being like, hey, you know, we're expanding in India. And even though our India business was doing amazing, our US, UK were doing good too. It was just, people just didn't believe in the future of Inde Wild. And then we got on a call with Rachel, and one thing led to the other, one phone call, and every single other Excel sheet was red, and she invested.
And why didn't you write to her earlier?
We wanted to have an Indian investor this time.
Ah, okay.
In the beginning, our thought was we have enough US, UK, we really want an Indian VC. And the funny thing is, even though in India we were growing the fastest, we grew 500% last year, Indian investors just didn't see it. They're like, what are you trying to do with this multi-country, whatever, and you're not a businesswoman, you like, what are you trying to do? And so they didn't believe in us. And finally, Unilever was like, we love you because you are doing what no brand has done before, having 1 foot in America and 1 foot in India. And the Unilever thesis is America and India.
Absolutely. And if K-beauty can be so big in America, I think it's time for like an authentic Indian brand to also be pretty big.
Yeah. And so then they invested, and when the news article came out exactly how it did, you know, in my vision, the amount of Indian VCs that have reached out to us since, and now I'm like, Aja, come. I literally
Aap qatar mein hai.
Exactly. I'm so happy. I'm like, we don't need any more cash. We're oversubscribed. Thank you, but next round, you know? And it's such a joy to be able to go through, like, it was really dark days. Really, like, till today, I think till the end of Inde Wild, what Oleg and I went through those months was, I think we thought Inde Wild was going to be no more multiple times. And to come out on the other side, and and the kind of year we're having this year, it's like record-breaking sales, and we're really doing the US-India play that hasn't been done before, and yeah, and I'm so grateful to UV and Rachel specifically to believe in us, so yeah.
And I mean, as beauty founders, sometimes the traditional wisdom is that you get the traditional definition of a strategic investor later in the journey.
Yeah.
Early on, you try to get a pure financial investor because you sometimes worry about the fact that you will end up eventually getting acquired by that company. Is that something that ever played in your mind, or do you ever think about it?
Definitely, but the thing is, the name is Unilever Ventures, but they really work as a total VC. Like even like in the beginning, we checked with other people. Like there's UV brands that have been sold to Estée. There are UV brands that have been sold to L'Oreal. They're just
really?
a very they're a very respected VC, and we're invested by the global arm. The Indian arm, of course, we're also very close to. So Minimalist, I know, was UV to Unilever, but it's like they're just a very good VC who's very trusted in the industry, and so we checked that beforehand. So, and they really function as a VC as well. Yeah.
So the first truly Indian global brand, especially in beauty as a category, I think there are some attempts being made in categories like tea, but in beauty, I don't think there's anybody who's been able to do this. So what do you see as like the differences between like American consumers, Indian consumers, when it comes to the category overall?
Yeah. So I remember one of our earliest, like we built the brand on focus groups. You know, luckily having built this community of online followers, I feel like the main thing for me was I don't want beauty to be top down anymore. Like for very long, beauty has been about a few people in offices in Paris deciding what men in offices in Paris deciding what beauty should be, and for me it was very clear I need to flip the script and make beauty about what do the consumers need. So before Inde Wild launched, we had I think 13 focus groups across the US, UK and India, and that was the first insight I got into how different the customers are. I'm like, am I sure I want to build this brand? Because they're all you know, quite different in the way of thinking.
Tell me. I really want to know.
So I think starting out with a very simple question in the focus group, we asked, how do you, like, what's your beauty routine, right? For any woman, that's the most simple question. So our Indian consumers, well, back then my followers, like my Indian community people said, we use a cleanser and we use a moisturizer and that's it. You know, and this is okay 4 years ago, so we give them some credit, but only cleanser and moisturizer. I was like, okay, and it was very short, 30 seconds.
And multani mitti, or that
something. On the weekend, maybe they would do a chumpy and a mask. So that was it. Like 2 minutes they would each speak. Then we went to our UK customers, and they were a bit more. So they were like, okay, we use a cleanser, we use a serum, we use a moisturizer and sunscreen. So sunscreen was known in the UK already. So they were 4-step. Then you get to America. Goodness. They were like, so I wear a sheet mask to sleep, then I wake up and double cleanse, an oil cleanser and a gel cleanser. And then after that, I do a toner and a da-da-da and then da-da-da. And they're literally, I'm not joking, speaking for 10 minutes about their beauty routines. They're so enthusiastic about it. They're talking ingredients. They're like, I first use a niacinamide toner and then I top it up with a vitamin C serum and then I use a mineral sunscreen. And I was like, holy moly, this is like from the Indian consumer to the US consumer, a very big difference in purely beauty knowledge. In America, obviously being the biggest beauty consumer, the biggest beauty nation in the world, they know their shit. Like they know what they want, they know the ingredients, they know the formula, so they're very advanced. But what I've noticed happen in India in the last 4 years is unlike anything. Like even like, you know, I speak to our Nykaa team a lot. And I remember before we launched Inde Wild in India, I was speaking to Advaita from Nykaa and I was like, we're launching 2 serums. And she was like, oh my God. Like, you know, if any beauty brand would have told me they're launching with 2 serums, I would be like, what are you doing? Nobody uses serums in the country. But she's like, you're spot on. Like serums is going to be the next big thing in India. And lo and behold,
they are.
serums is the #1 category in skincare now. So I think the Indian consumer in the last 4 years has learned a lot. So if I were to talk to them today, I think India would be closer to Europe now. Like they would have this, the sunscreen has come in, the serum has come in. They're not as extravagant as the US. Knowledge-wise, I think is a big difference. So
Yeah.
the real big difference, I think, will be the knowledge. The Americans are still way more knowledgeable about skincare, about ingredients. Like even if I look at our CE, customer experience stuff, questions in India are usually about, where is my order? Hurry up! Like it's been 4 days, and in the US, it's
I
like,
thought they'd be like, it's been 40 minutes.
Yeah.
It's like, I was supposed to get it in 10 minutes.
yeah, we're spoiled, man. We're really spoiled here. And then in the US, the questions are mostly on ingredients, like what form of vitamin C are you using? Is it a 3-O-ethyl ascorbic acid, or is it the L-ascorbic acid? You know, like it's really in-depth knowledge questions. So navigating that, I think, has put us at the standard of the Americans. Because whatever is the hardest, Inde Wild needs to be at that level, because we need to be able to sell there. So all our products are EU regulated, FDA approved, like really at stringent American levels and European levels. So then sometimes for Indians, I feel like we're a little ahead of the curve, because like for them it's still like, if I can buy 600 rupees vitamin C, why would I buy yours for 1,900? And I'm like, I think the main education Inde Wild is doing is there is difference in formulas.
Yeah.
A 600 will probably use a vitamin C derivative. They'll probably use it at a 3%, while a 1900 is going to use the highest form. Like ours is even a gold stabilized biotech version of vitamin C, that obviously that raw material is just more expensive, and hence the quality, you know. And we have 16 active ingredients in it, while a 600 rupee one will have 1 or 2. So there's so much educational quality that I have to do in India that I don't have to do in the US. So that is the big difference for me, is educating on constantly telling them we're more expensive because our quality is higher. Then secondly, I think India is very price sensitive.
Yeah.
Very price sensitive. Like as much as I wish that would go more, again, it's the understanding of quality. I think in the next few years, months, Indians are going to understand quality equals I can spend a little more for that. So the premiumization of beauty is that, right? Everything is becoming premium because I think they're understanding it. In the US, a US person spends $100, like an Indian spends 1,000 rupees.
Yeah.
Like it's the greatest consumer on earth. Like they understand, they like to spend, they like to treat themselves. So I think it is an easier sell in the US than in India, but I do see India changing as well. Yeah.
Got it. Yeah. I mean, to your point, I think the data is that in an year, an American on average is spending about $360
Wow.
on beauty.
Yeah.
In India, that number is $15.
Wow.
And that's the contrast.
Yeah.
But the good thing is that this $15, like around 5 years back, was $9.
Wow.
So that explosion
growth,
that's
yeah.
happening, that's where
Yeah.
you know the opportunity for younger brands, because
Absolutely.
I mean you can have a large market and try to be
Yeah.
like the 100th brand there.
Yeah.
Or I mean in India the market
Yeah.
is smaller, but you can be in the top
Yeah.
3 brands, and then you get the benefit of like
Absolutely.
just growing with the market.
Yeah, I think a really good, maybe inspiring story for founders is the Chumpy hair oil. It's
Yeah.
a really good example of, in the country of hair oils, to launch a hair oil at 950 rupees.
Incredible.
When I first said it, my whole team, everybody around me was like, you're crazy.
Yeah.
And it just, for me, I had the belief in the Indian consumer. If anyone ever questions our pricing, I'm like, if you go to the back of our packaging, all our percentages of our active ingredients are written. Because I'm like, I'm not fooling you saying bring Raj, I'm putting it at 1%. It's not at 0.001% and saying bring Raj, you know? So I think being really transparent about it, and then saying, we cleared all your pain points, so now is the product. And now being the #1 selling hair oil on Nykaa and Tira and all of these, you know, is a proof of that. Like, yes, if you are true and you build a good quality product, people will come back for it at any price point. So I think it's really, that is a really good example of how, yeah, you can build something for this price sensitive market, but if it's good, it'll work.
Yeah, so while, I mean, there is a lot of change happening, do you feel that it's still a bit in metros? And because if I look at data still, the largest 2 beauty products selling in India, shockingly, are still fairness cream and cleansers. So if you took the entire beauty market, the like almost $1 billion each is face wash, your first step that you mentioned, and fairness cream.
Yeah.
Then of course there is sunscreen, which has gone like 7-8 times in the last
Yeah.
3-4 years, because the
Yeah.
whole awareness of sunscreen, and it's incredible. And then you have the serums, etc.
Yeah.
And then, of course, when you go into that, more evolved consumer, then for her, the price layer.
Sure. So I think Inde Wild definitely at this point, sits in that top 10% India for sure. So I think everything I'm saying, I should have prefaced it. It is really for the top 10, the metros, the smartphone user, the girl on the go. Like, it's really for that consumer. Obviously not. Rural India is a whole different ball game, and I mean, we spoke about it this weekend as well. It's such a different market to cater to. I do perhaps see maybe 1 or 2 products in the future could cater to that market, but as a brand, I think we cater to that new India. And so I think everything I'm saying is really for that consumer who is more similar to, say, a European consumer or American consumer, or getting there. Then, like, rural India is a different ball game.
So you, have to figure out how to have like a larger range of products for these core consumers, the top maybe 2-3% who can afford it. And then beyond that, you would continue to build America, build Europe, and have like the entire global aspiration.
That's the plan.
Right. And you're seeing the same product has like a great response, like your top 2 products here and the US are similar? No. It's different.
Indeed. So our top product globally is the Chumpy hair oil.
Amazing.
So that one
I have to give it to you. I mean, making Chumpy cool, like growing up, it was always like mom said, like Chumpy kara do, it was the most embarrassing thing ever. Only you can make Chumpy cool globally, and it's incredible.
No, but I think it's definitely the cool thing, but it's a really good product. Like my mom.
It's your mom's secret recipe.
It is my mom's recipe, and the way we formulated it, like, I'm obsessed with formula, so I would never put out a product that's not what it says it's going to do. The clinical trials, the EU regulations, like, it is a top quality product made from India for the world, and it really works. That's it. Like, people, good marketing can make people come once. A good product will make them come back and back. Absolutely. So I think it's a good product. So that's number 1. And then in the US, our vitamin C serum is number 2. And in India, it's like number 5. Because here it's 1900, and people would rather buy a 500-600 rupee vitamin C, and they don't understand the quality of it. While in the US, they're like, oh my God, I'm getting vitamin C, ferulic acid, vitamin E, niacinamide, hyaluronic acid, turmeric, 11, 12 active ingredients at the price of $40. Like, for them, it's like SkinCeuticals cost them $200, So for them, it's like, wow. And then they look at it and they're like, they're all the highest qualities, all the right percentages. While in India, it's a very small niche that understands that. They would rather still go for a cheaper one, thinking it's the same thing. So, so in India, our Chumpy is the top selling, and then the Moonlight DLT, the lip balm, is second top selling, and then the Moonlight scalp serum is going up very rapidly for us.
Interesting. And there are some dermatologists who are now, advising a different way to do hair oiling just before bath, etc. What's your mom's secret to the incredible hair she has and you have? Like, how often to do it, and do we have to go through the Chumpy every time we do it, and how do we make sure it comes out of the hair and doesn't cause dandruff?
So the way we do it in our family is minimum once a week. So Sunday Chumpy, that's what, we do it with our community online as well, the Sunday Chumpy. So every Sunday is the day you do your everything shower. So when you do your everything shower, you mask your hair, you eat your Rajma chawal, like, you go to the Pilates, like, that's your day to, like, do everything in a chill way. So that's the day minimum. And then when I come back from, say, a red carpet or something, and I have really damaged hair, I've just bleached my hair, then I do it twice to thrice a week. And the way we do it is usually pre-shampoo. I put it on for at least an hour, go do some chores, or go to the gym or something, leave it on as a nice slick back, and then wash it out after. Some, very rarely, if I'm lazy, I'll sleep overnight with it. For people indeed with dandruff or oily scalp, I wouldn't recommend overnight. So for them, I would recommend washing it out in half an hour or an hour. And the way to wash it out is, because our oil is very lightweight, it's mostly extracts that give the power instead of like nut oils. They wash out in like 1 to 2 shampoos, like easily. Like I know everybody uses it, finds it very easy to wash out. So and that was a big pain point we had to solve, you know. Like with any other Ayurvedic hair oil, you're like stinking and washing it, and then after the shower it's still oily, then you wash it again. Like we don't have that for sure.
Yeah, that's a big differentiator. Like I have really oily, dandruff-prone hair.
Yeah.
So for me, the right way to do it would be just an hour and then wash it out. And then
Exactly.
Interesting. And it's to be applied on the roots.
Both. Roots to
Roots
tip.
and tips.
Yeah. So tips is really good for damaged hair.
Okay.
So you apply it all the way, drench it, and like put it up and leave it. If your hair is not that damaged, then use a little bit on scalp for growth and a little bit for shine. So you can really, you know, like measure how much you need based on your concerns.
So Dua prefers Chumpys by her mom or grandmom?
Grandma. Grandmom is really good at it.
The original,
The
the OG
original.
Chumpy. Awesome. And you've trademarked the term Ayurvedistry.
Yeah.
Incredible. How did you come up with it?
Like I said, like the whole journey of, you know, my acne and my mom being a dermatologist and an Ayurvedic doctor, like I had it in my life all along. And I think as a modern consumer, I was like, there's so many Ayurvedic brands that are purely Ayurvedic, and there's so many these like dermat-led brands. There's a whole middle part, which a lot of us modern Indian wants. We believe in everything Dadi and Nani said. We believe in it so to our core, like ghee works, turmeric works, like, you know, we believe that, but we wanted science backed.
Yeah.
We're like, yes, but yes, you know, we need it. And so I think Inde Wild really took that seriously as like, if you're going to serve New India, serve something that they believe in and know, but package it and add the scientific backing to it. So we kind of merged the two worlds and created our own category essentially. And now you see many brands doing that, many brands rebranding to doing that. But I think it was really that looking from what our consumer needed and what helped me in my life and everything mom taught me that was that philosophy.
I'm actually, you know, very surprised that what I'm seeing is in the US, everybody's moving towards like turmeric, so curcumin and ashwagandha and shilajit, and all of these trends are huge. And in India, somehow, like we're moving more towards like the whole science ingredients, like salicylic, hyaluronic, dermatologist, etc. And where do you think in the next 4 or 5 years, like India and the US will be? Would it be like a middle ground, or do you think that you know, we will continue going away from where we started because everybody's always in FOMO?
Yeah, I think India, you know, being the biggest beauty market, like fastest growing beauty market in the world, and America being the biggest, there's enough of everyone. Like we're grown up with enough science in our life to know we need it backed by that, and we believe in nature enough as well because we've seen it work. So I think a big chunk of people are going to be in the middle. Like when I went to the US recently, indeed, there's a supermarket called Erewhon. The entire of Erewhon is just one big Ayurvedic pharmacy. It's indeed Shilajit, Shatavari, turmeric, ashwagandha, like internally, externally, everything. Like people that are obsessed with longevity, and longevity for them is traditional Chinese medicine and Ayurveda. But they package it in a cool way. So I think the reason why Sephora North America is so excited for us to launch with them is because they see this longevity wellness trend going crazy in the US, but not a single beauty brand that's able to, like, authentically from India make it cool in beauty, you know? So I think in India as well, the longevity thing, I think it's really led by longevity, where people are like, to have that long life, you need that preventative kind of way of looking at life instead of cure. So all the turmeric, everything, you know why it exploded is because of the science backing. The universities abroad are like, Kapila Longa and curcumin is absolutely incredible antioxidant, and that's why they love it. So, and then we take their knowledge and bring it back, being like, oh yeah, it's our turmeric.
They're doing the clinical trials, so which also helps us because we're, you know,
but I feel like Indian universities should do our own clinical trials as well on other unsung heroes like Amla. Like that's, I think, one that's going to explode next in the US. Ghee, like, you know, things like that. I feel like we need more clinical.
I mean, Amla probably has like 3 or 4 times more brightening than, say, a traditional vitamin C.
100%.
And so, what would be that one ingredient, Ayurvedic ingredient, that you absolutely would swear by for the next 5 decades?
One.
Oh, okay, maybe 2.
For what? What concern are we talking about?
Okay, one for skin, one for hair.
Hair, bring Raj.
Bring Raj.
And amla, if you let me pick two.
Okay.
And for skin, turmeric for brightening, and saffron, I would say. If I had to pick two for skin.
And do you see yourself formulating like differently for the US and India, given the fact that A, price point, second, I think weather, like you have to worry about oxidation, you have to worry about the heat, you have to worry about a lot of other factors in India, whereas US. So like I'm just visualizing 5 years later, will Inde Wild have like different ranges for?
The thing is, we have one global brand and one social media, and we speak with one voice. So right now it's difficult. And I think what right now is happening more is that our ops team just, you know, for the US, picks certain products they know work well and orders more, and for India orders less, and vice versa. So I think for now, we're just going to have a very tight SKU, very tight like hero product list, and then just kind of check the market and see. I don't think at this point yet we're going to build different. Yeah, but maybe in the future.
Yeah, and what percentage of your business is US?
They go neck and neck. Okay. So I think right now India is a little bit more, but I would say normally US is about say 40%, India is say 40%, and then the UK is 20. Yeah.
So at some point, you'll probably also have to manufacture there to avoid the whole tariffs and like the chaos that's just...
Luckily, we already manufacture 2 of our hero products in the US for the US, luckily from the beginning.
Okay. So those are not impacted?
Those are not impacted at all, luckily. Chumpy is made in India for the world, so Chumpy is, but, so yeah, we're navigating that whole thing. Every day is a new story. We're just trying to see how to manage it all. Yeah.
Right. What's the like 2-3 common skincare mistakes that you made growing up? One you mentioned, and you see a lot of other young people make that you feel like it's a big no.
Yeah, I think that's it. Like for people who are control freaky like me, we do too much. So I think doing too much is the biggest problem with skincare, because your skin needs to take a second, breathe, you know. So if you're trying one thing, try one thing enough. Instead of doing 17 things thinking it's not working. That really ruined my skin. And then secondly, switching as well. Like switching from one product not working, next product not working, like switching brands, switching products.
The whole skincare cocktail, as they call it.
No. Like less is more.
And skin cycling.
That's my biggest thing in skincare is less is more. Like just do less, use less products. You don't need a 14-step skincare routine, do less. Another thing I would say is fragrance in skincare. I don't understand it.
But in Ayurveda, isn't there always fragrance?
No, but that's not fragrance.
That's coming from the essential oil.
Synthetic.
Okay. So you're saying added fragrances.
Yeah, synthetic fragrances like that just for the sake of it, people add, so it's a more sensorial experience. Like our vitamin C, doesn't smell the best, but I'll be damned by fragrance in it. Like you're not going to put fragrance on your very sensitive skin where it's like breaking out and weather, everything. So fragrance for me is a big no-no in skincare. And then lastly, it wouldn't be a skincare question without sunscreen. Always finish with sunscreen. I feel like we still today in India think if you're darker skinned, you'll be fine.
You have melanin.
It's not.
It protects
like
you.
everyone needs to use sunscreen. Yeah.
Cool. Before we jump to the fun stuff, you were going to call Inde Wild something else.
So for the longest time it was called Beauty Brand. So all our samples would come and just be like Beauty Brand by Diipa.
Beauty Brand.
Never going to call it that. And then one day we're like, okay, it's time now. We funded. Like we need to get this off the ball. And then we had basically our first few team members. We had 3-4 people on the team. We're like, call all your friends home. And we had a branding agency that had initially done some work for us with like packaging and stuff. So we asked them, what would a modern Indian brand be? Give us a few ideas. So they gave a few names. There was like Wild Mango. There was one Sundara. There was one something else, Wild something else, whatever. And there was Indē something else. So there was like a few mixes. Then we had this whole like fun game with everybody where they would pick their favorites, this, that. And the end of the game, Sundara won. From a voting perspective was the name. And then the second one was Inde Wild, because we mixed the wild from Wild Mango and the Indē from somewhere and put it together. And so Inde Wild was number 2. And then at that night, we're like, yay, name picked Sundara. And then I went to Oleg and I was like, I don't like it. I was like, I don't know, it doesn't feel modern enough to me. Like it's like Sundari, Sundar, all that is great, but it doesn't feel like global enough for me, you know? Like, I don't know, it's not sitting well. Something wasn't working. And the Sundara was also from the sun, an element that's very important. My mom's name is Sangeeta, so it was like, they were trying to mix it all. It was very nice, but no. And then Inde Wild came second. And I was like, oh, I think I'm feeling Inde Wild more. And he's like, okay, girl, as always, you're against the stream. But he gave a really good tip. He was like, write it down, put it on a piece of paper, sleep on it. Literally sleep on it. And the next morning, if you look at it and you're still, you know, vibing with it, we'll just call it that. And a name is as important as everything that comes after it.
Absolutely.
So I was like, fine, slept on it. The next morning, I looked at it and I'm like, this is it.
This is the one.
Because it is independent and wild. It's a play on that. It's a play on India. It's a play on herbs from the wild and sustainability and Ayurveda. And it's everything, and it sounds fresh and young and new India, you know? So then we called it Inde Wild.
Amazing. I feel the greatest asset a company has is the founder's gut.
Yeah.
You just,
100%.
I mean, like everything magical comes from there. And I'm glad you trusted it. So I like the name Sundara as well. It's pretty unique, but I think Inde Wild just fits you and what you're building incredibly well. All right, we have some would you rather questions, which we'll just, you know, just whatever comes to the top of your mind. So would you rather launch a product too early or too late? Like
Too
ahead
early.
of the market or
Too early.
Too early.
Yeah.
Would you rather be underestimated or overexposed?
Underestimated always.
Yeah.
Always. Like if I had $1 for every time somebody underestimated me, it is actually so empowering to be underestimated, to think people think of you a certain way and to change their narrative.
Yeah.
It's the biggest high for me.
Yeah, but you the price of success is that you stop getting underestimated.
Yeah, that's true.
Would you rather build slowly but sustainably or grow explosively?
Slowly, profitably, and sustainably, if I had to pick between the two. Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Would you rather be the face of the brand or let the brand speak for itself?
I think I made that clear.
Yeah.
Let the brand speak for itself.
Awesome. Would you rather win 100 loyal customers or 10,000 emotionless customers?
100 loyal. Yeah.
All right.
Because word of mouth is so strong. The 100 will make it
10,000.
and the 1,000 will,
Would you be known for innovation or for consistency?
Ooh. I think innovation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Setting trends. All right. Would you rather have Oleg as your co-founder or your husband?
Oh my God. Husband.
Husband. He's a better husband.
He's a phenomenal husband.
Amazing. Yeah, I could see that when I met him. He's incredible. I would pick the same if I were asked that.
Good.
Would you rather be a mother or a founder?
As in, I would be full-time mom
Which
or
role?
full-time founder?
Assuming you just had to give one up.
I think I'd be a mom to Dua.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
I would pick the same.
I think at the end of your life, that matters more.
That role completes you.
Yeah, 100%.
All right. I want to ask you some questions where you have to just finish the sentence and whatever comes to your mind first. A boss woman always dash.
A boss woman always takes responsibility.
Good one. The one thing I never compromise on is?
The one thing I never compromise on is sleep.
Incredible.
Recently, since
Secret to your glow.
Since recent. Back then, no, but since recent, it's sleep. It's the best longevity drug in the world.
Yeah.
Just good sleep.
I absolutely agree. And good sleep means what? 8 hours, 7 hours?
For me, yeah, minimum 7.
Minimum 7.
Yeah.
That's good. Success to me means?
Success to me means doing something that pushes the envelope forward, like pushes the world forward. More than, it's not just a self thing, like it should be about bigger than yourself.
That's beautiful. The risk that paid off was?
The risk that paid off was betting on myself.
More women need to do that.
100%.
The trend I'd never try is beauty.
The beauty trend I'd never try is the 14-step skincare routine. Not for me.
I'd heard of 10, by the way. These 4 that got added
Koreans do
are stressing me out. Who do?
Koreans.
Oh, okay. Oh. Okay, my go-to beauty hack is?
My go-to beauty hack is using Chumpy as a slick back product.
Ah,
Yeah.
interesting.
Works really well.
So
And
slick
it's-
back into a ponytail.
Yeah, slick back into a ponytail, but with Chumpy hair oil. So you're making your hair stronger, and you know all the benefits of Chumpy, and you have a styling product in one.
Nice. One product I can't live without is, I'm guessing now.
AM serum, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, what it's done for my acne scars, because like after the acne left, I was left with crazy scars. AM serum is a phenomenal vitamin. I wish I could scream from the rooftop that more people should believe in it.
Yeah.
It is a phenomenal brightening serum.
Yeah.
Like it has everything at its perfect percentage, and what it's done for my glow, I need to gift you one.
Yeah.
It's the best selling in the US, and
Yeah.
it is an amazing serum. So the AM serum.
Nice.
Yeah.
And that, which form of vitamin C is in it?
L-ascorbic acid.
L-ascorbic. And it
Yeah.
comes with the ferulic and vitamin
Yes,
E.
yes,
So that's
yes,
the best
yes.
way for.
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome. Okay, beauty products should make you feel.
The best version of yourself.
Yeah. My guilty pleasure is.
Biryani.
Oh, biryani.
Oh, I love it so much.
Oh my God.
team knows. Like at any moment, I can eat biryani for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I thought it would be chai.
Second.
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 Okay. No. The last thing I Googled was, or AI'd was,
Yeah.
ChatGPT'd was.
Probably. Oh, last thing I AI'd was. I need to check it. I think it must be something to do with. Yeah, I know. So I've been taking a vitamin E supplement, and then I ChatGPT'd oral,
Yeah.
and I ChatGPT'd what is the best version of it, and it actually taught me quite a lot that
Yeah.
the usual vitamin E supplements we take
Yeah.
are actually giving you nothing. You need one with every form of vitamin E in it. It's just something geeky, but I
For the
learned.
bioavailability.
Yes, exactly. So
never
check
tried.
your vitamin E that you're taking.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I have never even tested myself for vitamin E, I think.
No, it's not a testing thing. It's more a great antioxidant
Okay.
and glow, skin
Okay.
glow.
Okay. I'm happiest when?
Happiest when I'm with Ola Gedua.
The best advice I've ever received is?
The best advice I've ever received is that just get started, I would say. Like I think especially us women, we're so in our head that, you know, you're maybe just get started, and in addition to that, that your inner voice is the most important thing in the world. Like the way you speak to yourself is going to dictate your life. It's going to become a reality.
Yeah.
You're going to manifest whatever you're thinking. So tame your inner voice with all your might. Like it is the most powerful thing you have, and you can either make it go rogue,
Yeah.
or you can tame it to have the best life ever.
Yeah. Yeah. And trust your gut, which you did.
Always trust your gut.
Awesome. Last couple of questions. What has been on that annual vision board that did not happen? And I just feel like a lot of us need to know that it's not that Deepa is different from us, where everything she's put on the vision boards always come to life. Because I'm sure there must be something that hasn't.
So much. Like I think with vision boards as well, you know, you need to realize if you manifest something, it's not gonna happen at the timing you decide. It's gonna happen at the timing that things take.
Yeah.
And sometimes I do have really big goals. Like I think I've had a cover of Time, like to be Time 100 for many years now, and it never happened. Forbes 30, yeah, that's a good one. Forbes 30 under 30 never happened for me. Even though I was like, why not? Like I've seen people on it that I feel like, you know, I could have been on it too, but that never did.
But you know there's a 40 under 40 as well. Unlike me, who's now a 40 and there are no 50 under 50s, you still have the chance to all kinds of economic science, Forbes, Fortune, Global.
Yeah, exactly. So that's it. Like the way you get over it is you're like, okay, that didn't happen for me, but I got 2 Vogue covers, you know, like, so it's fine. Not everything you put in there happens immediately. And what I want people to say is don't give up on it. Like either it evolves into something better, or you still have a few more years to achieve it, and you know, there's a lot of personal goals also that didn't happen, or revenue targets that we didn't meet, but there's so many things that don't happen on a vision board for the things that do. but that does not stop you from building it again the next year. Like sometimes things take 4 years to happen, you know, and just stay on that.
And sometimes 4 decades.
4 decades to happen.
Take time, love,
they do.
Patience.
And I think us as the young generation, you know, we want everything instantly. It's like 10 minutes, blink it delivery. Like, I want my Amazon parcel now. And I think it's really important to realize things take a really long time. Success takes a long time, and it's a up and down roller coaster. Success is not linear. Like, you're gonna go up and then down and up and then down, and then in the down moments, you know, you need to know you're gonna go up again. And in the up moments, be humble enough to know you're gonna go down again. So it's really that journey.
Yeah,
and,
success is going from failure to failure without somehow losing enthusiasm.
Being delusional enough to know you'll achieve it. Yeah.
And what do you want to tell all the young Deepas who really, you know, feel that you're living their childhood dream, literally? You know, a loving husband, a daughter, an international business, famous and rich. What's your advice to young little Deepas who are looking at inspiration?
That life is going to get better if you do two things. If you really, really like take responsibility for all situations in your life. Don't blame the world, don't blame external factors, don't blame luck, don't blame da 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 da. Just take it. Be like, I'm gonna fix this, I'm the only one who can. And the inner voice thing I said, like tame your inner voice. I think for the longest time, my inner voice worked against me, you know, like those moments when I was not confident and was in the, and once you fix this, everything manifests itself. Like, you literally can live your dream life if you're living it inside here already. Like, telling yourself, you're amazing, you're smart, you're da da da, you become that. Like, and I'm a living proof of it. Like, if I show you photos from my teenage years, you would not recognize me. You're like, wait, that looks like a very scrawny, skinny, insecure girl. And you know, just by taming this and being a very responsible person, I think you can change your life.
I think feeling beautiful first starts with self-love.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Incredible. Wishing you lots of success, both Inde Wild becoming far larger than Diipa Khosla and an incredible global brand that even the Prime Minister of India is proud of, and being on the Time cover.
Yeah, one day.
Awesome.
When that happens, I'm gonna come and give you a hug, because then we manifested it here.
Absolutely. Cool. It's been incredible talking to you. Thank you so much for all the inspiration.
So and I wish you all the success as well. Honestly, I hope all your dreams come true, and I hope Sugar and whatever next you do just gets bigger and bigger as well. And I think more women, we need to support each other. And I love how supportive and kind you are. So thank you for that.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for watching or for listening. And अगर आपको ये episode पसंद आया, तो आपको वही करना है जो हर podcaster आपसे कराता है, which is you have to hit like, subscribe, and also a comment so that हमें समझ आए कि आपको क्या पसंद आ रहा है, क्या नहीं पसंद आ रहा है. And if you want us to bring someone on this podcast, any guest that you have in mind or any question that's remained unanswered, please put them in the comments below. I read every single comment down below. So until next time, stay curious, stay grounded, and keep building the life that you love, just like I'm doing.